Let's do the original Christmas song. It's called Just Around the Corner. I really like this little song, and it comes out of something. We wrote it as if we were coming in off the road, but it's literally something that our parents used to say to us. They made Christmas a really big deal for our family. We might not have big birthdays and not a lot of other special occasions, but Mom and Dad saved up. They worked hard, and they saved up money, and they made every Christmas big because they wanted us to remember Christmas. They wanted us to remember, and even though, you know, there's a lot of gift giving and stuff, there was a lot of Jesus, a whole lot. And that is so very important, and it gets lost a lot nowadays. But we used to all say, as kids, you know, we'd be like, Mom, how long is it till Christmas? And she'd say, son, it's just around the corner. 10 days, 10 long nights, that little town's coming into sight. I see the glow of those Christmas lights that guiding me back home. Now it's late, but I don't care. She'll be waiting up when I get there. I run my fingers through an angel's hair underneath the mistletoe. Yeah, Christmas is just around the corner, another mile or two to go. And my arms are aching just to hold her. I can't hardly wait to let her know that her smile and her sweet kiss, they're just a couple of the things I've missed. We're getting closer and Christmas is just around the corner. Oh, play me back home, boys. Christmas is just around the corner, another mile or two to go. And my arms are aching just to hold her. I can't hardly wait to let her know that her smile and her sweet kiss, they're just a couple of the things I've missed. We're getting closer and Christmas is just around the corner. Just around the corner. Just around the corner. Oh, we're almost there, baby.
Yeah, you'll not want to miss this. This is
It's gonna be.
This right here may win something.
Darryl doesn't know it, but Cledus and I are about to wear Darryl out.
Oh yeah,
We've been talking about this all day.
Let's go, Worley Jig.
I've been putting up with people like you two for a long time, so you know
We
what
ain't
I say
nothing,
about
are
that?
we?
Bring it on.
I've had to ask Mike multiple times. Was that during the podcast or was that pre-podcast? So
It's always during the podcast. We're rolling.
we're
baby.
rolling.
We're rolling.
Got a call last night from an old friend's wife.
All right, we are back with another episode of the Sounds Like Life podcast with the one and only Darryl Worley. Y'all
Yes.
put your hands together.
Yes.
You know, tonight's something special. This is, as you guys are hearing for the first time, we have a live studio audience. We've not done this yet, and I love it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to talk you into more of these, I think.
Well, I was thinking tonight with these folks here, especially with that response stuff, and it's going to come through, you know, and I used to always love like watching all those older sitcoms. Like first thing that comes to mind is Sanford and Son.
Oh Lord,
Right.
yeah.
And you hear those people gut laughing, and you can't help it. You do it in your living room.
Oh, absolutely.
And it does make us feel like some of the jokes we tell each other, if we hear a little laugh, that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we're not really
I got
funny
this.
amongst us.
Oh, I got news for you. We are too funny.
Oh, it's gonna be an interesting night, but we're just
This
thankful
may
to
take a
have-
while.
We've got a live studio audience tonight. Some of the folks that are here tonight, Darryl. I mean, the people that love you and support you, and just it's been unbelievable. We've got Pat and Melissa Jacobs from Shamrock Dirt and Forestry. They're our new sponsors. Hey, let's put our hands together for them.
I just heard about that, by the way.
Dirt and Forestry, property maintenance, their trucking business. They said, hey, we want to be the first ones in the game, and we love that. So thank you
I
guys.
can't tell
for
you how
being
much
here.
I appreciate it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. So to have that going and to keep that ball rolling, our buddy Mark Berg brought the bar tonight. We love Mark Berg.
Yes, we do.
He's great.
I've spent a lot of crazy evenings with that host and co-host.
We won't. We're
I
not.
can imagine.
We're not going down that rabbit hole. Our buddy Ricky Price at Pepsi.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ricky P.
I don't know if y'all will see it or not, but they stepped up, brought us some drinks. They brought a birthday cake.
They did. It ain't much of it left.
I don't think there is.
Tell you right
So-
now.
Ricky, I own a little chunk of Pepsi Gulf Coast Jam. I don't know if you knew that or not. Yeah,
He said, "Oh, really?"
I've been.
Speaking of which, this year you're opening for Lainey Wilson.
Yeah, that.
How cool is that?
To be honest with you, she should be opening for you.
Hey, listen, as long as I get to meet her, that's all I ask for.
I knew
DW.
what was
I
coming.
love
Yeah.
you, Bubba, but I mean, we're gonna have to meet Lainey, and we're gonna get on the podcast and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but it's funny. We're all of us guys. This is our. We came from the same time period, same era. He got started a little before I did. He was found success a little quicker than me. But I'll tell you right now, we got to be a part of the best time of country music
Absolutely.
that ever existed.
Man, it
No
was a good
question.
time.
Yeah, I mean, we really did. And I mean, I'm bitter about some stuff about who ain't bitter about
Right.
some stuff about
should
their
be,
business.
probably. Yeah.
But I mean, I thank God every day. I was really, really there to write songs when it all first started. And I'd done had so many production deals, and you know what those are all about.
Yeah.
Oh, they take 2 years of your life and a whole bunch of your money and give you nothing in return. And but I look back on the songwriting time, and then when my deal started developing, and I think to myself, even guys like Guy Clark, Chris Christopherson, all the guys that we think of when we think of country music, they told us, this is the time, boys. Y'all are living it right now. This is the best. And so God knows I'm thankful for that. It's you can't take that away from
Oh
us.
no, that's ours to relive amongst friends.
Absolutely,
and
buddy.
that's the best part about it. Darryl and I were with Eddie Montgomery and John Michael a few weeks ago, and to be able to sit around a table and talk about those times, what we can remember of them, it's just special. I mean, I know
truly
Morgan
is.
and all these guys now, Hardy and a lot of the guys that are out now, Riley Green, are great, but you'll never convince me that this era of music, there's no way they could have near as much fun or be as appreciative of the era as we were back when we came through.
Well,
I don't think.
they don't have the same thing.
No, I agree.
I mean, I'm gonna ease up a little bit. A lot of times, most of the time, I just say what first thing that pops in my head.
We know.
But I mean, I'm very blessed in so many different ways. But music and my career, man. I mean, you name. Just make a list of the artists that came out of our time.
Oh God, I guarantee.
And what's happening now does not require that kind of talent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You said
I don't think that's
you're right.
I'm
derogatory
gonna get
by any means.
I'm gonna I'll probably get beat
Everybody's-
up for that, but it doesn't require that kind of talent. I mean, and some of the guys that just killed it, I don't even like them. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been jackasses and stuff, but it don't matter because the daggum talent.
Oh, Lord, have
and
mercy.
the singers and the players, it was just ridiculous. And if you go back and look at it, and look at the everybody wants to look at the numbers. Go ahead, look at the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
because
I guarantee
we
you.
own the numbers.
You know what's funny is when I was on tour with Brooks and Dunn and Toby and a lot of different acts that I was fortunate enough to tour with, I told them all one day, I said, look here, boys, y'all celebrating these 17,000, 18,000 up here, and that's great, and that's a lot of people. But y'all ain't seen a crowd till y'all toured with Billy Ray Cyrus in his prime about a year after Achy Breaky Heart. And I had that opportunity. I did three
It's the
shows.
truth.
I did 3 shows with Billy a year after Achy Breaky Heart came out. Jack McFadden, his manager, put me out and said, you got a band? I said, well, Lord, yeah. I didn't more have a band than a man in the moon. But I wasn't about to get my I got an 8-piece. Yeah. And we showed up at
I got Lawrence Welk's band.
Oh, yeah. We showed up at the Carowinds in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, I played there.
Yep. And I tell you, man, I went out to take that story back a little bit, talk about dreams coming true. In 1991, I was doing the buckboard, with Mark Wills down in Atlanta. Me and Mark started at the same time, and I tell people Mark Wills, who we're talking about, Mark's a member of the Grand Ole Opry, and I'm a member of Sam's Club. But, I get it.
Costco.
Costco. There you go.
Billy Ray Cyrus showed up right after Achy Breaky. He had already committed to playing the buckboard. So, he probably got $7,500 when he was getting
That's right.
$100,000.
That's
but
right.
He was good on his
Or
commitment.
150.
Yeah, and I picked Billy Ray up. I was the runner for that show. I didn't
wow.
have a job or anything. I picked Billy Ray up and Al Schiltz, who was his manager, if
That's
you remember
right.
Al.
Yep.
And I sat in a hotel room with Billy Ray at a Comfort Inn or something, and it was the night that Travis Tritt went off on Billy, telling him that he was a stripper in L.A. and all this. And I was literally sitting this close to Billy Ray, and he would say, man, I ain't never stripped in my life. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, no, he could have made it.
gonna say
I can tell you. But the funny part of that is I told Billy Ray, when it was over with, I said, I asked him to sign me a picture, and I told him that I wanted to be a singer and a comedian. I didn't know how I was going to make it, and he signed on the picture, Barry, because I had not been Cledus yet. He said, Barry, go for your dreams, Billy Ray Cyrus. Well, fast forward that to 1997, after the immortal hell that I went through to make it, I was the opening act for Billy Ray.
Ain't that something?
And I went out on stage, and Stan Barnett, if you remember Stan.
Are you kidding? Good friend of mine.
Yeah, Stan Barnett was there, and Stan walked me out to Billy Ray. Billy Ray was doing sound check, and Stan said, Billy Ray, I want you to meet your opening act. And Billy Ray said, well, Cledus, it's nice to meet you. And I said, no, we done met. And he said, I don't recall. And I said, well, I'm the guy that was your runner in 1991 at the Buckboard Country Music Showcase, and you signed a picture for me that said, go for your dreams, and I went for them, and here I am. And he told his whole band, and I won't use the language, 'cause I respect y'all, but he said, GD, boys, put them instruments down and wait till you hear this story.
Yeah.
And he told them, that I was his runner and how he met me, and then 5 years later, after Immortal Hell, I was opening for one of the biggest acts in the world.
We should do a whole podcast episode on getting started.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we should,
it would be like you could do 10. You could do 10. It could be a series.
Yeah.
Like Yellowstone.
Well,
Yeller.
getting started was
Yeller.
was tough. Was it hard for you?
Oh my God. It took, people say, how long you been doing this? I'm like, you mean since I got my record deal?
Yeah.
Because I was 35 when I finally signed my first major recording contract. So I started doing it before I was playing in bars in Hardin County and Wayne County and North Mississippi, North Alabama before I was legal to go in there. So you tell me how long it took.
Long
I'm 60.
Yeah, me too.
It took forever. But once I started going to Nashville, it's when I realized I should have come up here sooner because it was a whole hell of a lot harder in Nashville
Oh yeah,
than it was anywhere else. And that's where they look at you and they feel like they have a license to just absolutely skin the bark off your tree.
Yeah, obliterate
and
you.
they'll say things to you like, and it took me a few years to get the nerve up to say, I'm going to tell you down where I come from, somebody would whoop your ass for saying something like that. But I'm just going to ease on out of here. I mean, and I have told a few of them that, but it was years later.
Yeah.
You know, you knew if you did that, they'd say, he's a loose cannon. You can't.
You don't want none of that action.
So you just grit your teeth and walk away, and it makes your skin thicker and thicker and thicker until you're just one big callus. That's why I laughed tonight when Travis said something about hurting my feelings.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It can't hurt his
We
feelings.
have none left. I can tell you.
my wife tries so hard sometimes because I hurt hers. And she's so bless her heart, she don't even have that in her, but I have helped her cultivate it. And
Of course you have.
and she'll come back at me with stuff, and then she'll go, because she knows it's just like bouncing off of a lead shield.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kimberly, happy birthday to her yesterday.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's
you're
awesome.
today,
Yep.
she was yesterday. So
Yep.
that was a good
She
happy
was
birthday to her.
adamant about me telling him happy birthday, and she loves him. And she thought his wife was going to be here with him. I said, I don't think she is, but
Yeah, they cackle on the internet.
Oh, man.
Amanda
Do
and
they
Kimberly,
cackle?
It's
They
funny to
cackle
watch.
a
if they
little
would
bit.
just lay eggs
Yeah, they'd be
while they're
hens.
doing that,
We might make some money.
well, I wouldn't have to get my chickens back.
Man, I don't know if you and I'm gonna share some stuff with you because I know you know a
here
lot
we
about
go.
me, but Travis don't, and some of these people don't. But I don't know. Tracy Lawrence, asked me the same question. He looked at me when I was doing, and we love Tracy, of course,
Absolutely.
great friend of ours, and he just point blank asked me, said, "Well, how the hell did you end up here? I'm not sure how you done it." And I said, "Well, lean back." and
Get comfortable.
I'm going to share this with you because one, I don't think you know it, and two, I think it's important for the people that don't know how I done this. I was in a bad kind of way about like what you were talking about back in the 90s. I had some success. I was a barber, a hairdresser, whatever you want to call it, and traveling all over the world cutting hair. And the biggest show that I had ever done to that point was the World Championships of Hairdressing in Dusseldorf, West Germany, and Whitney Houston singing One Moment in Time 15 feet from me. And with all that being said, money came along, and then I found what I had been looking for my whole life in the form of methamphetamines. And I became a full-blown addict at that point, using every day. It was a disaster until I found myself perched upon a bridge in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida in 1990, contemplating how to shut it down. I'd had enough. I had 6 hours. I had traffic backed up for hours, and they trying to talk me down because I had just felt like I'd lost everything I'd ever wanted, needed, and I was just a failure. And I thought, well, this is my destiny, and I'm gonna do it now. And by the grace of God, I didn't. And I think when you do that, one, if you want to do it, you'll do it, and two, a lot of people do it for attention, and that's what I did it for. But I came home to a double-wide trailer in 1991, and I was laying in shag carpet twice as thick as this in my mama's
Pretty thick
trailer.
carpet, yeah.
And you could lay in the carpet and make snow angels. It was so thick, if you remember.
Trust me,
You can
And
smell
Vince
it, can't you?
Gill, you'll remember this because we're the same age. Vince Gill had won a CMA award for a song called When I Call Your Name.
I knew you was going to say that.
And I turned around, and my sweet mother was bawling her eyes out. And I said, "Mama, why are you crying?" And she said, "Son, I'd give anything in the world to meet Vince Gill." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "He's got the prettiest eyes I've ever seen." And I said, "You want to meet Vince Gill? I can make that happen." She said, "Son, you can't sing a damn lick. What? How you going to make that happen?" And I said, "You want to meet Vince Gill? I'm going to figure it out."
Oh,
4 weeks later, I went to the buckboard we were just talking about, and I wrote a rap song called "The Chop Ain't No Flop" about the Atlanta Braves. And the bass player said, "Well, what's the melody?" And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, that's what I'm asking you." And I said, "Well, I don't know what a melody is, but play Delbert McClinton's "Shaky Ground" and I'll make it work. How's that?" And I won the amateur night. And I called my mother from a payphone, Collect. Awesome. If you remember Collect calls.
Yeah, I do.
And I called her Collect. And
I get them from my brother in jail all the
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I called Mom Collect, and I said, "Mom, I think I did something right tonight." And I told her the story. And 6 months later, she gave me $400, and she gave me a 79 Toyota Love Truck. And here I came to Tennessee for one reason, for my mama to meet Vince Gill.
Wow.
T. Graham Brown brought me up here. He worked with me. Bruce Bird's a great songwriter.
Oh, I know Bruce.
I was homeless from time to time. I slept in the front of that truck. I slept at the Ruby Tuesdays parking lot out on Donaldson Pike in the front seat of that truck. I didn't have where the speakers were in the door. The sheet metal was missing, and you could count the lines and the road going down the interstate. In the mornings, I would go take a bath at the YMCA because I didn't know where to live. And then I'd drive up and down Music Road, and I'd sleep in that truck some. I slept in a walk-in closet on Horton Avenue, a buddy of mine had. But I was determined that I was going to make it. And I'll get a little teary-eyed here in a minute, but 3.5 years had come and gone, and I had done everything I knew to do in my power to make it in this business. And if you'll remember, and you will, and y'all will, in 1994, that ice storm came through. Was one of the worst I'd ever seen. And I was driving on Interstate 440 in that old truck. I did not have any heat, no defroster, nothing. I'll never forget, I had a Mark Chestnut CD in my left hand going down interstate, scraping the ice off the windshield. And so help me God, I could look through the windshield, and it was Mark's single, "Too Cold at Home." I thought, it's way colder than that in this truck, I can tell you. So I got home to a buddy of mine's house, and 3 days later, I got frostbite on this hand, and I lost all my fingernails, and the doctor said, there's a chance that you could lose a couple of these fingers. Frostbite was brutal.
It don't play.
Yeah, it don't play around.
So on a Sunday night, after 3.5 years of doing everything I could do, I called my mother on the phone, and I said, "Mama, I can't do it." I said, "I'm hungry. I ain't got no food. My clothes are filthy. Come and get me." And she said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "I ain't never been more sure in my life." And by the grace of God, my mother asked me one more time, was I sure? And on a transistor radio, sitting on a desk, Tim McGraw, I heard a song in my right ear called "Indian Outlaw." And God is my witness, when I heard the first verse of that, I sang, "They're my Indian in-laws, came to visit me and my squaw, been here for a month, y'all. I'm about to lose my mind."
Oh, I remember that well.
And I said,
come the
"Mama,
holidays."
I got to call you back." And she said, "Well, am I coming?" I said, "Give me 30 days and I'll let you know." T. Graham Brown gave me some money. A guy named Larry Lockamy gave me some money. I went in and recorded Indian In-Laws, and 189 radio stations played that thing, and I was off and running.
Yes,
I got
sir.
a record
Wow.
deal. My life changed, but here's where my whole life changed. In 1996, I came in off the road, and I got a call from a lady that said, "We need you to play in a golf tournament at the Hermitage." And see, I done got money now, so I said, "I'm not interested." I got entitlement, with the money. I felt entitled. And she said, "We really need one more person to fill out this group. If you do it, we'll work something out at the ACMs, let you host, or let you present or something." So reluctantly, I went out on a Monday morning at the Hermitage Golf Course. I set my bags down, and I started looking down the wall, find out what hole I was on. I got to 16A, and it had a name, Cledus T. Judd, Vince Gill. And I thought,
There's a reason I'm here.
Yeah.
now's my chance. And the buddy I was with, he said, "Well, I'm riding with Vince." I said, "I'll beat your ass." You will not ride with Vince Gill after the hell I've been through.
Yeah.
No, my bag is going
You said,
on.
I'm riding with Vince, and you said, you're going to beep too.
Yeah.
I dare you.
So I jumped on the cart with Vince Gill, and I spent the whole day with him. And I told Vince that story is why I was here. And I said,
Wow.
Man, would you do a video with me? And he said, yeah, I'd be glad to. And on a Tuesday afternoon, about 6 years after I left home,
Come on.
I brought my mom. She sent me to Nashville in an old love truck, Toyota love truck, and I brought her and her friends to Nashville in a limo about as long as this building. And on a Tuesday afternoon, there was a knock on the door. All the video guys knew what was going on, and John Lloyd Miller, if you remember him, he was a video director. John said, Moselle, why don't you get that door? And she said, why am I getting the door? And he said, just go over and answer that door. Yeah. And man, with every step my mother took was the heartache, the hard time, the struggle, the belief, it was. But I knew that there was about 7 more steps till her life was going to change, and mine was too. And she opened that door, and there stood Vince. And I said, Mama, I told you. You meet Vince Gill one day, and you know she jumped up in his arms and tried to stick her tongue in his mouth.
Oh, man.
The most unbelievable thing you've ever seen. I didn't think Vince would ever speak to me again.
I bet not.
But man, you know, if I'd have quit, or if you'd have quit, you know, you just never. That's one thing I think I can do is not quit.
I promise you. There's a lot of things in me that I wish weren't in me, but there's no quit. I've never had any of that. My daddy.
What if you did? Look what you lost out on.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, never knowed what it's like to go on them big tours like we've been on.
But I'm gonna tell you what I heard. You've pretty much, like, the podcast is over. You did it there. Your story took up all of our time. We got to quit now.
Yeah, we're over.
No,
Sorry about that.
I'm just messing with you. You know that.
I know that.
No, but all throughout what you said, I was listening to the story and I was going, okay, that's Jesus. Mm-hmm. And then you'd go on down the road. I said, that's Jesus. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
You don't, especially when you're in it.
Oh yeah.
You don't.
I get it.
You don't know that, but you go back and you start thinking, or you hear somebody tell. I've listened to somebody tell a story about me, like, you know, you remember when you was doing this and that, and I'd go, well, now that you bring it up, I remember it, but I wouldn't have thought of that for $1 million. And they'd go, well, that was a Jesus thing, and I go, you're absolutely right. So it makes you go back and recount all this stuff because, man, none of this. There's no coincidence. People
I agree with you.
People that go, people that, I just got lucky that day. I go, bless your heart. You got blessed, and I mean, like I was in a casino last year, and I hit I was wanting to buy my girls a swimming pool so bad, and I mean. I could have financed it. I just don't do that anymore. Once I got all my
I do.
Once I got all my
I was gonna say that must
I'm gonna
be
tell
nice.
you something, man. Once I got all my crap paid off, like I'd sit around the house and think about all them people that could like hang me for my debts, and I'd think, well, I might hang you back.
Yeah,
and it just make me crazy. I'm OCD like that. Once I got all my stuff paid off, it's real hard to get me to like borrow something anymore. I'm like, you know, but I'm back in debt again. But
it's easy to do.
But I was sitting there in this casino and hit a jackpot on a slot machine that I wasn't even looking at. I was talking to a guy that had just watched our show. He's behind me. I was talking to him, and I've done memorized where the max bet button was.
Oh yeah,
I was just going like
Burning
this, and I was just doing what I was doing to kill time and wait on my check, and I hit a jackpot for $176,000.
Wow.
I was like, and funny thing was, I was looking at the guy, you know.
How much?
I was looking at the guy.
How much?
Wait, you got to hear this.
Cledus
I was looking
said,
at the
"I'm doubling
guy.
my bill for tonight,
and
aren't you,
I
Cledus?"
punched the button, and the music changed. I heard that. I noticed music, but I was looking at his face, and he went like this.
Just like I'm doing.
And when he did, I went like this. And when I turned back around, I mean, I looked at it and I thought, oh, hell.
This is great.
Yeah.
I've seen this in the movies. I turned back around. That guy was gone, and there was 6 casino people standing
I
there.
bet.
You
And they
think?
already had a yellow caution tape. And they said, don't move. 176,000. I can show you pictures of it.
That was Jesus.
Worley didn't understand that he's
Well, I hate to bring,
Yeah.
my daddy told me, I told my daddy, I said, you don't have no idea what just happened to me. He said, don't you dare connect that to my Lord and Savior. And I went, hang on a minute. That's not what I'm doing. But I said, I will tell you one thing. He knows exactly what I'm going to do with his 10%.
There you go.
And I did,
Absolutely.
buddy. I'll
I know
guarantee.
what you're going to do is buy my gas money going home. I'll tell you that.
No,
Right
dude,
now.
if you heard the whole story, I'm not even going to go into it. You know what I wound up getting?
Above ground.
You know what they you know what they told me in the office down there? They handed me a check for $8,200. They said you can get all that money if you take it in 21 annual payments of $8,200. I said, the way I'm living, I ain't probably gonna live 21 years. So I think I'm gonna ask you, what's the payout if I get it all in one lump sum? It was, I believe it was less than half.
Oh, they kill you. Them things.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And boy, when I went in there to talk to him at 3:30 in the morning, I might have had a drink.
never.
No.
I called them all. The officials, they had suits and ties, and I called them all out on the casino floor. I said, no. After they told me what the deal was, I said, I want y'all to come out here. And they go, what do we do? I said, come out here. And I started pointing at people playing. This old lady was over there playing one of them slot machines with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth. Reminded me of my grandma. Had ashes about that long.
Oh, yeah. They can hang them in there.
And I said, see that lady right there? I said, one of these people, because you don't tell them on the machine there that they're going to keep half your money. I said, she definitely ain't got 21 years.
Oh, no, yeah.
And I said, so you don't tell them that. So this is all wrong, what you're doing. And I said, when you tell her, she's probably trying to take her last few quarters or whatever and win something to help her granddaughter or something. And it's real. This is real life. I said, that's real life.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I said, y'all live in a fantasy world. I said, that might kill her.
Yeah.
I said, and that's
good.
and that's on you.
Wow.
I mean, it just. I said, it ain't gonna hurt me. I'm used to being in debt. But I'm gonna build that money's long gone. But I'm gonna build a swimming pool on the memory of it.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
You're going to give me some gas money, too.
I was going to say, you're going to get some gas money now. I don't think Darryl realizes when this airs Sunday night that he's going to have about 4 more cousins come out of the woods in Savannah going, hey,
He's
Darryl.
got 5 now.
hey,
Me sitting
Darryl,
here.
it's
I knew I was
Christmas.
kin to him somehow.
I got news for you. Our county's real big, and there's very few people in it.
Yeah.
And I done. They're all cousins.
Yeah,
it's
they all are. They all keep
they've
coming
all. That's already done.
So speaking of Christmas, we've got to talk a little Christmas, and one of the things that they're pulling up on the screen for us.
Well, look at that handsome devil right
Who
there.
is that? The beard.
Andy Griggs?
It's the
No, he's asleep.
Oh, yeah.
He's asleep.
So what we're gonna do, because y'all got this new song out that people are just loving, because the two of y'all got together and you had a little bit of fun. And I think it shows in the video and the other stuff that we've created. But we're going to play that. And, of course, you guys can see it up here on y'all's screen. But they're going to be watching us. We can comment. We can do whatever we want to just to make fun. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to make fun of these two. I can already tell.
I've saw it
Yeah.
10
You
times.
shared it on
I
your-
texted him and told him how good it was.
It's a good video.
Yeah, they nailed it.
But guys, go ahead and roll that for us. And we're going to watch Santa
who
Looks a
you're
Lot
gonna say.
Like Daddy.
Hey,
Let me tell you something. This right
tree.
here, this is exactly what he would do.
no. we
Watch
didn't
this.
get
He
the
lays
tree.
it on me.
Oh, I know. It's always your fault.
We got the tree.
Watch this.
Daryl's running a little late. We'll see you in a bit. All right, bye.
That's exactly what he would do.
Griggs.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you getting settled in over there to help
It ain't a two-man job.
Well, it might be because I'm gonna cut a big one.
What do you need help with?
Lord, have
What you think?
Look, you see who's doing all the work.
Christmas there, Mr. Worley.
Merry Christmas, Hoss.
Scratching that truck up.
Yeah, don't scratch that truck,
Don't
Kenny.
touch my stock.
Daryl, it's Christmas, son.
Tickled? You over laughing now?
Keep changing the channel.
What is that?
Nah, it's old Bean. You can't beat Bean.
Gotta love some Bing Crosby. Man.
Hang on.
What you got?
Bingo.
All right, sing it, son.
Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy. Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa wasn't much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney.
And that's Daryl's red Dodge truck, which is hilarious. Yeah, it's perfect. And he did that himself. We didn't direct him. He looked at that camera and it was like, oh, that's money.
I
That's
tell you
money.
what, he's a singing fool. I'm just gonna tell you,
You better believe it.
good as anybody.
Mama put her arm around him.
Man, I love
So if
that.
Santa Claus ain't Daddy, I'm not gonna tell on them. Hey, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. He didn't look the way I pictured.
Great.
Santa wasn't much too slim. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked
Yeah.
like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him.
Get that fiddle. Cledus, you can play a fiddle like that, can't
No,
you?
I can't do any of
It's
that.
air fiddle.
Yeah.
The air fiddle's the best kind.
This is what cracks me up.
Yeah.
We don't even care. Watch this.
That's typical
Don't keep up
Andy.
with that. That was they did that on their
Andy
own.
did it.
Nobody directed that. There's Mark Bird, Wayne
Saw
Rowland.
Dancer or Prancer. I never heard the sleigh bells ring. I never saw the red-nosed reindeer like they showed on the TV screen. Yeah, girl, it sure brought lots of presents.
See Ashley and Kelly, they're here with us tonight.
Yes, Santa looked a lot like my daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. Yeah, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like
There's
him.
Chaz Robinson.
Not the way I had him pictured. Santa wasn't much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so my mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy. Daddy looked a lot like him. Yeah, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him.
Wait for
Y'all
it.
nailed that
Wait
right
for it.
there.
There's Bergie. Wait.
Who was singing the lead on that?
Worley.
Think we
Wait,
ought to
wait.
Go back to Bean.
Might be a safe bet.
I ain't even gonna comment on that
Yeah, I was
part
gonna
of it.
say my wife looked at me and said, "Are you kidding me?"
They missed that part. Well, my wife looked at me and said, "That was your idea." And I went, I said, "Hell no, it was not. It was
No.
Andy Griggs' idea.
Yeah.
I ain't taking." And for once, I wasn't lying.
There you go.
Andy is one a good dude and a singing son of a
Oh,
gun.
my gosh.
When Travis sent me that, I text Darryl. I said, "Man, that's all remakes ain't great. That's a great one."
Thank you,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you, y'all nailed that.
You know
sucker.
what I told him? No, I said, rather than to get into us trying to out sing one another in this song, I said I would like to be your anchor man, because I said it needs to have a little Buck Owens kind of keeping it, on the just anchor it down.
Yeah.
And I said, and then you can just go. And that's what we did, and I think it really, really worked, man.
It did. It was good stuff.
Because he was able to
People
do
are
his.
loving it. It's great. And it's the stockings. Oh, yeah, whose hats? I think
Those
that was,
were Andy's.
You brought that elf hat.
It
with
took
you,
them
didn't
an hour to get me in that hat.
you? Oh, it did.
I
'Cause
didn't
you
want
got
to
so
put
much
that
hair.
stupid thing on.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't want to put that thing on. I mean,
think-
I'm already 7 foot tall, and I got this thing on. It's tall.
Well,
I stuck it in every
yeah.
ceiling fan in that bar.
But you look good at it. You look good at it.
Well, whatever. I just care for that.
Did you ever
I like
work-
that picture y'all took for the album
See?
or whatever.
Yeah.
But I look like I've smoked about. Well, never mind.
Did you ever work with Buck at all? Did you ever meet Buck Owens?
Oh gosh, yeah. We worked at the Crystal Palace a bunch of times.
what a great dude.
Man, I've gone out there 3 or 4 times since he passed. But just before he died, they gave me one of them guitars while I was out there playing at the Palace. Since then, I've gone and fronted the Buckaroos about 3 or 4 times. Really? Like I'll go. They learned, 10 or 12 or 15 of my songs, and then I know a bunch of Buck songs, and I go out there and do a show with the Buckaroos.
Man, I did a duet with Buck called The First Redneck on the Internet, and Buck sang all the choruses on it, and he called me one time, and he said, Cledus, he said, man, I don't know if you're going to like what I did or not. And I'm thinking, hell, you the best that's ever done it.
Man.
And would talk, good God. I mean, he literally talked. I went and washed dishes, cut the grass, came back and picked the phone up. He still talked.
Yeah.
Still talk.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
But it was an honor to get to know him.
Shooting that video was so much fun, and you see the stockings on the set. That was actually in the truck. We've kept these. We'll probably auction these off for the foundation at some point.
That'd be
'cause
awesome.
I think if y'all both sign them, that'd be fun. And so I tell you something else on the set. I see a lot of orange. I don't know if you noticed that or not. My wife, I've got a tree in our bedroom that's my Tennessee tree.
Yeah.
And she's finally cut it down and said you can't put everything up. So we brought some other stuff. Sam had some great Tennessee stuff, and Tennessee's got a big game this weekend.
I don't care. I'm a Georgia fan. Go Dogs.
Wow. He
You a
doesn't.
Tennessee
y'all- who-
fan?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
God.
State, but
But you ain't got to feel
Paul-
bad.
Hey, Paul
you ain't got to
Perry.
feel bad. The very first Tennessee game I went to at Neyland Stadium, we spanked y'all's butts
I wouldn't
so
doubt
bad.
it. I played in high school. I played 4 years of football, 4 years of basketball, 3 years of baseball, ran cross country 1 year and won 6 games in all of it. I remember my coach, Coach Powell, one of
I
my
know why you
mentors.
love Georgia.
He would walk by and go, the score would be 110-4.
Yeah. That's
With 30 seconds left, he was talking about, we got them. I said, Coach, we ain't got them. We do not have them. He's talking about, keep your head up. I said, no, I don't want nobody to know I'm on this team. I'm not keeping my head up.
Man, you was talking about sleeping in your car. I had a routine for a while. I was writing songs for Rick Hall and Muscle Shoals.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my first real official publishing deal as a staff writer. I did that for almost 5 years. But on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would make the rounds. I'd go and write in Muscle Shoals, and I'd go to Nashville. And when I was in Nashville, I slept in my car every night I was there.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to scare you to death. And I've never really understood where this came from, but you looking at a man sitting here between you and Travis that for years and years wouldn't sleep in a house by himself. Wow. I was so scared. I bought a house in Temple Hills, big nice home, a nice one, A-frame house, remodeled it. First night, I was backed up to Susie Bogus's place up in Temple Hills, and the first night I was in there, I was sitting there, and I thought, I can't do it. I can't stay here. And I left and went to a hotel in Brentwood, spent the night in Brentwood, and I'd have people come over and have, football parties or whatever, and they'd all love the house. Oh, what a beautiful place. And then everybody would leave, and I would too. I never spent a night in it. One night, 3 months after I had bought that house, I asked Jeff Gossett, the guy we was talking about a minute ago, my best friend up here, one of them, I said, Goose, will you come and stay at my house with me? I said, I have not slept in my bed since I bought the house. And Goose said, yeah, I'll come stay with you. I got you. And let me tell y'all, I had a security system in that thing like Fort Knox. I was just scared to stay by myself.
Sure.
I just was. And Goose climbed up he was in the front bedroom, and I was back there in the back. And I always, some of this is funny and some of it's sad, I would keep my window cracked because if I ever thought somebody broke in, I'd get that window up and go out the window before they get me. And so I set that alarm up there, and I hit all them buttons and locked her down tight. And I laid down in that bed, and I thought, finally, I'm gonna get some rest. And I laid there for about an hour and a half, and then all of a sudden, the alarm went off. Intruder, intruder. I rolled out of the bed, looked, saw what part of the house they had broke into, and I started yelling, rolled back across the bed like Starsky and Hutch did on that car, you know, rolled across it, raised the window up, went out the window 15 feet from the ground, landed in tore my legs. I mean, listen, it tore my legs like you wouldn't believe. This was probably after midnight, and I was yelling, Goose, get out of the house. For God's sakes, get out of the house. And I took off running beside the house, and it was damn Goose going to see his girlfriend at the airport, and he set the alarm off.
Sure.
And I cussed him. I was bleeding down in my my feet, and he looked at me and he said, I'm a grown man. You can't make me stay here. I'm not a hostage to you. I'm going to the airport to get my girlfriend. And I said, well, I'm going to a motel. And I let that alarm go off till the cops got there, and I went and stayed at another hotel. And my accountant called me and he said, you got to sell it. He said, because your hotel bill is 4 times more than your mortgage is. Wow. And I never slept. But I can go sleep in the front seat of a truck in a Ruby Tuesday parking lot by myself because I was chasing.
I'll be honest with you. I was sitting here thinking, I totally understand that.
I couldn't do it for years.
Well, I mean, I did. I did. We got a townhouse, me and Win Varble.
Oh, God.
We went in, Havers and got a townhouse. It wasn't anything fancy by no means, and it wasn't real expensive either, but it was in Hermitage. But I remember laying in that bed in that place thinking, this is my place, for as long as I can pay the rent, this is my place. And but I got to be honest, it felt a little bit weird.
I was a nervous wreck. I did a couple of houses. Like I bought a house in the Governor's Club, spent a fortune on it, and hired Rascal Flatts bus driver Larry to stand guard.
Yeah.
And here you got to go through 2 gates to get in the Governor's Club in Nashville. And here I've got Larry walking the catwalk with a 38 in his hand, and ain't no way in the world nobody get to me in there, but I sold it, lost money.
See, the problem for me on that alarm, I never would get one of those alarms.
Afraid to go off?
Man, I'm going to tell you, we're gun people. And I mean, when I say gun people, it's like my wife, she's starting to, resist a little bit now because, I've run out of, like, real good reasons why I should be buying more guns and more ammo. But, I mean, I'm coming up with new stuff every day, so
don't worry.
Just work with me. But, I mean, like, and I was at her brother's house last night, and this morning, this morning until about 4:30 a.m., and the bed that I slept in, the nightstand had about 4 handguns on it. And I thought, well, now that looks like home to me. This is good. and I called her back there. It was getting late. And I said, come here. I said, now, you see this? And she goes, I know. And I said, well, what's wrong with that? If there's something wrong with it, you should tell your brother. Just don't start it. Don't start it. And the truth is, I don't have that many guns because I'm afraid somebody's going to hurt me. I have that many guns because I love them.
Want to, yeah.
But my fear is if that alarm ever went off, like I might jack something in there and get to work.
I kept a bow and arrow out beside my bed. I didn't own a gun. So I like Tarzan over there. I had a bow and arrow. Like I could get that thing lined up and shot at somebody. Hell, it done shot me 4 or 5 times.
So this is you guys have heard me say this that you're watching. That the hardest part of my job is always wrapping this thing up. And of course, the producers are
we're not done.
I know we're not.
We can't do it yet.
But we're sitting here with all these pretty Christmas decorations, and they reminded me that we've not talked much about Christmas.
Oh, that's true.
So I thought we need to talk a little bit about Christmas before we wrap this thing up, because these stories are great.
Well, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we're no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Now it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, baby, all the way home I'll be warm. Now the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Come on, boy. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, baby, all the way home I'll be warm. Now the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Hey, I think we got some good reels out of what you two have been saying.
I promise you.
Have you noticed?
Well,
We're
yeah.
over.
Have you been hearing about our reels?
Oh my gosh!
Seriously,
5 million views
so
in the last 3 months.
That don't happen to me.
It did.
Well, what I'm saying though is, so I was going to say this earlier. People have been calling me up and asking me, man, why is your podcast doing so good? And I was like, is it? and of course, and then Travis started sending me some information on it, and I'm like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it would have to be the people that are working on it.
Yeah, they are. It's those guys.
I said because, and we've got a beautiful studio.
Yeah.
And I said, because I got news for you. I don't know a damn thing about this. I don't even.
He thought it was a fishing show.
I swear,
when
the
he
first time
He
I
said a
heard-
podcast.
The
that's
first
a fishing
time
show.
anybody
I
ever said podcast to me, I thought it was something had to do with fishing. I swear.
It's the
That's the truth.
I'm not.
And
a,
he was excited about it till I told him what it was.
I'm not an internet or a computer. That's not my stuff. I do have some people that do that for me. Thank God. And they're good at it. But now I got these guys.
Oh, man.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I think what we do is unique.
Oh, it's real.
And I think it's happening.
Yeah.
That's part of it. But you have no idea how hard these guys work.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
man,
telling
I
you
get
right
it,
now.
yeah.
And I mean, I bet you Joe Rogan will tell you the same thing, that he's got some people
Oh, it's all them.
behind the scenes. They cut and edit and they go through this stuff with a fine tooth comb, and they find
Yeah.
moments, you know.
Yeah, they
and
do.
these moments are getting 5
yeah,
million views.
Oh yeah. Well, and,
Yeah.
and again, I sent them some notes today so that I would have some notes, and I sent them 4 bullet points, and they were like, "Oh, that's y'all's script for tonight." And I said, "Well, that's all we need. We're gonna get up here and talk. We're gonna have fun, and and none of what we've talked. I mean, we've still got 3 or 4 things that we haven't even hit on there.
We better get to hit.
Yeah, we better get to hitting on Christmas.
Better get to hitting on Christmas. But so tell me, like a best or worst Christmas present you've ever gotten.
You want to go first? You want me to?
It don't matter to me.
It's every once you just laughed when somebody handed it to you and you're like, oh, that's funny. Or
We never had much Christmas, Travis.
Did you?
We didn't have a lot of money back. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, damn it, someone pour me a beer. I wasn't ready
kidding.
for that.
Man, I
Thanks,
did an
Cledus.
interview one time in the Ashland newspaper, and the lady called me and she said, hey, we want you to do a couple of pages on your best Christmases. And I had to make it up because I was from a dysfunctional family. I mean, I ain't going to lie to you.
I was too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a damn disaster. Excuse my language, it was a disaster.
My daddy was a preacher.
Yeah, mine was.
I used to tell my mama all the time, I'd look right at my mama, even when I was a little bitty boy, and I'd go, if I only knew.
So I'd like to sit here and tell y'all all these great fun gifts. And, Lord, I got an Evil Knievel and a super toe. I did get a super toe one time, if you remember them. Guy kicked the field goal.
Oh, yeah.
I got one of them. It was used, but we got one of them. And
That was my Rock'em
Yeah.
Sock'ems.
Yeah.
My
My-
Rock'em
oh, yeah,
Sock'ems
yeah.
was used.
And my
but I was
daddy-
happy to get them.
my daddy gave me a 64-ounce Coca-Cola one time for Christmas. That's what I got. So now it's your turn. Wow. Top that.
Okay. Well, I said something about it earlier, and I mean, when we didn't have a lot, which there's a lot of years we didn't. Oh, but my mom and daddy would and here's the deal, they wanted us to remember Christmas no matter what, and you can come from a dysfunctional family, and there's still positives.
Oh, absolutely.
There's still
Sure
good
they
stuff,
are.
and this is one of the best ones that I can come up with because my mom and dad, 62 years together. Wow. Really, that should have ended inside the first 6 months, and
62 years.
62 years. Yeah,
That's impressive.
I've been married 62 times just about.
That's expensive.
You ain't kidding. We'll talk about that on my podcast.
Yeah, we'll get you a whole new podcast.
Yeah, we ain't
started.
got near enough time to get into that.
But they did anything and everything that they had to do to make our Christmases be the biggest day
That's
of the
awesome.
year.
Yeah.
And the reason was they wanted us to remember Jesus' birthday.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
the fact.
Yeah.
Now, that's the truth.
Man, that's
they
awesome.
didn't care what it took. I was turning 9 or 10 years old, and, I'd already got a compound boat. It took me a year to get to where I could pull the damn thing back.
Yeah.
Daddy wouldn't spend the money to get the adjustable
Right.
one.
Yeah.
He said, I said, I can't pull this back. Well, you need to figure out somehow to get stronger because we ain't getting a different one. That other one's too expensive.
Yeah.
So it was time, for me to start gun hunting too. And hunting was a big deal for me. I was just, to be perfectly honest with you, my mom used to say, why do you stay out so long? I'm like, it's peaceful out there.
Oh, yeah.
Not
absolutely.
so peaceful in here. It's peaceful out there. And that was my deal. I loved being out, and nature was a beautiful thing for me because there was a lot of turmoil inside the house, and I loved being out, man. It was beautiful. And I thought I'm going to get another shotgun, or I'm going to get something that a boy my age could hunt with.
Right.
Because my brother had already got this rifle. He was 5 years older than me. And he got mad. But that Christmas, I got that rifle too. And my brother, I heard them mumbling and carrying on. I thought, he's mad because I got this, 2 or 3 years before he got one. And I heard my daddy, he said, he's all about this, he's ready for it. And that didn't go over real good.
Right.
But I got this 35 caliber lever action, 35 caliber Marlin rifle. And I'm going to tell you, my dad told me a couple years later, he he make a deal with us. If you kill us some meat, I'll work it up. You can help me, but I'll work it up. We'll put it in the freezer, and we never, like, we raised some beef of our own, but we pretty much ate wild game and stuff that we raised. We never went out and bought meat. And my dad told me that second year, he said, if you kill another deer, you're cleaning it and you're dressing it and you're processing it yourself. Because I was laying them down, son.
Were you?
Oh, man, when he bought me that rifle, it was over. I mean,
was
people in the community were going, we don't have no trouble with deer in our gardens no more.
No
That's
more deer left
hysterical.
in Savannah.
No, because they're in our freezer.
I tell you, both of y'all make me feel like a spoiled little shit because you're telling these stories about Christmas, and a lot of people would say, "Well, I grew up with divorced parents," but that just meant I had
Absolutely.
2 Christmases.
I used to beg my mom and dad to get divorced.
My mother hated my dad. He drank so much. My mother hated drinking with a passion. I mean, she couldn't despise it because it just obliterated our family. And she literally, we were living in Ackworth, Georgia, and she put, I bet you, a quart fruit jar full of strychnine in Daddy's liquor. He drank it and never affected him a lick. I
That's
mean,
me.
Never affected him. If a wonder didn't kill him, it's a wonder it didn't kill him.
Well, she wasn't putting it in there to help his
Oh,
health.
no, I can tell. She had intentions of taking care of business,
Well, she was trying to get y'all squared away.
Oh, yeah, it didn't work. I can tell you, it did not work.
I think everything that this man's done in his career, and again, and he needs to hear me say this, you were the one that picked up the phone and called me and said, hey,
Absolutely.
you're going to get a phone call from Cledus T. Judd. And I said, the Cledus T. Judd? Which is our joke today.
No.
The Cledus T. Judd? And he goes, well, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, Darryl, thanks. What's he calling me about? And he said, man.
He wants
I
a $30,000.
I want that check.
he's
That's what I
sadly
drove there on my
he's
60th
sadly
birthday
mistaken.
for.
But you said, man, he just fits the brand. He fits everything we're doing. And we had a great meeting today. And I think there's a lot of potential how we can all work together. And I think there's a greatest hits album in the works.
Ooh, come
Well,
I think
there won't
there's
be nothing on it. Great. I didn't have no greatest hits, but
it might go aluminum, I'm hoping.
plywood. I think we're trying to find a name. I told us Darryl is Tyler when we was with Eddie the other day, but I think I want to call it the Post-Stardom Depression podcast.
Thanks.
So
My therapist is going to love that one.
my wife asked me one day, she said, what's wrong with you? And I said, I just think I'm going through post-stardom depression,
Oh, jeez.
But I want to do one. First of all, let me say something on a serious note. There's good people in the music business, as Darryl tell you, and there's great people in the music business. Darryl Worley is one of them great people.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that because I'm sitting here. I've known him for my whole career just about. But Darryl and I have a problem with people that don't respond to our texts. We had that conversation.
Really? Or phone
and I ain't
calls.
going to name no names.
Oh, I might.
That's why I ain't drinking, because I would.
Because keep that filter going.
But
What are you trying to say?
Darryl
Okay,
is
Thank you,
a
brother.
dear friend and a great guy, and for him to pick up the phone and call Travis and give me a chance, because
Shoot.
before my career is over, I think all the tragedy and stuff, I try to find funniness in it, and you have to, but it made me what I am and who I am and
Yes,
how I
sir.
raised my daughter. And I told her when she was getting married a few weeks ago, and it was the best analogy I think I could ever give her. And I said, I did the best I could with the tools that were in my
That's
tool
right.
belt.
Yeah. That's what we all do.
Some people are blessed to have a full tool belt of things to work and raise their children and keep a sane marriage and all that. I was one, unfortunately, that I only had a couple of tools in my tool belt, but I tried to use those to the best of my ability. If you got a full tool belt, you can build a bigger house and a better house. Yeah. So I tried to do the best I could, and at the end of the day, I would like for my legacy to be not the record sold or not the videos played, but the friendships made.
Absolutely.
And
There
the
you go.
stories that I can tell to people that, hang on, I got it, that struggle like I did. I won. I won because I tried. And I tell people, you never lose if you try. I'm good with the ship sinking. as long as I sink the damn thing. I won't let somebody else sink my ship. And so with what time I got left, I had a cancer scare this year. I thought I had kidney cancer or whatever, and it really put it all in perspective because at that moment when that doctor said, I wished I had better news, I said, you need to finish that sentence or I'll whoop your ass right now. What is happening here, and he said, and come to find out I didn't have it. But during that 5 days of the waiting before I got the MRI, do you think I laid there in my bed and thought, man, I've done real good. I've sold a bunch of never crossed my mind.
No.
Never. Well, it's what I tell people. I
love you, brother.
I love you too, man. And as we get older, and I'm not saying we're old and decrepit
we
by
are
no
too.
means, but
Well, I don't know if we are, but I am.
I've got a lot less steps left to take.
Me too.
That I have. I've
That's a
already
good song.
taken.
That's a
And
title.
what I
Y'all
plan
write
to
that,
do
please.
with those steps that I got, and I told you this.
Make them count.
If it does not bring me joy, if it does not bring me fulfillment, if it does not bring me contentment, and if I feel like at any point in my journey from this point forward that I'm not helping somebody with my humor, with my stories, with my songwriting, with my speaking, helping addicts who people kick under the curb and not help that I want to be there for, I ain't doing it.
I'm tired of because we're down to the point where we're at an age that we're going
60.
Oh,
60, by the way.
I see what's happening here.
I get it.
We're on the other side of the halfway
absolutely.
point, and
I got $3,200 in the bank. I ain't got to do a lot. Tell you right now.
I can weather some storms, and I want to spend some time with my family. I'll be honest with you, I don't usually do anything like this in the month of December.
I get it.
I don't,
get
and
it.
because I work so hard the rest of the year, and I'm shooting deer and drinking beer. In
That's
December.
a country song too. There.
Well, I about have already written that.
It's been a heck of a year, and we're there after this. Tune in on New Year's Eve, and they got a recap that they're going to post on New Year's Eve. I think probably around lunchtime, because we're 4 months into this.
Dude, these guys comb through this stuff. I'm telling you what.
I told you about what my butt.
They'll
Go
find a
Yeah.
flea. They'll find a flea.
Yeah.
Or do you know what a ghoul is?
Not off the top of my head.
A ghoul lives on a flea's testicles.
I've been there.
That's spoken
My-
like
my
a true
uncle-
biology major. I
No,
mean,
no.
I
My
mean,
uncle come in to my grandma's house one
How did
day.
you figure that out?
Listen,
Man,
on
that's that
Christmas.
Worley shit, I'm telling you.
They're
Who
gonna
knows?
we're gonna get one of them clips off of this right here. You know what? I don't care if we're running long. We're gonna get one of them.
edit
Hey,
it. Yeah.
if it hits a million,
This is
and a half,
fixing to. I'm telling you, this is no.
Record it,
I can
Bubba.
do it fast. He come in with it. My aunt's. We thought it was my aunt's sausage balls on a platter, and he goes, "No, son, these are ghoul balls."
blue
I
balls.
said,
Well, I ain't never-
"Ghoul."
Oh, I
ghoul.
thought you said blue balls.
He said, "These are ghoul balls,"
Oh,
and I
okay.
said, "What's a ghoul?" He goes, "A ghoul is a microscopic little creature that lives on the testicles of a chigger, of a chigger."
Oh.
How y'all think this podcast gonna make it talk about
I was
it?
going to say, this is a Christmas podcast. We're talking
well,
about
you can
ghouls on
play it some
testicles.
other time. Play it on
Edit it,
Halloween. Play it on Halloween. That's
Yeah.
my birthday.
Yeah.
Anyway, wrap this up. I'm sorry.
See,
I
No,
mean,
I
come
want
on,
to talk
Obi.
more about ghoul
That's-
balls.
that's
I was going to say ghoul balls.
You
but-
wouldn't even let me finish. I said, "How long did it take you to find enough of them ghouls to make all these?" And he said, "I've been collecting them since we had Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Well, he's bored.
Took him that long to make him."
Unbelievable.
It was sausage balls.
People, we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, if I appreciate you tuning in. You can find the Sounds Like Life podcast on all major platforms. You're only going to see a couple of clips, a couple of songs attached to this podcast, but you can go to all of Darryl's platforms and see several. He recorded about 30 to 45 minutes of music. We're only going to include a couple, but go to his YouTube, subscribe, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, anything else we can get out there and post it, we're going to get it there.
Because he sounded so bad.
Because
You
he
hear
sounded
all,
so
all of my
bad.
acid. You hear a lot of my acid rock reflux hits.
There you go. All right.
All right. Thank
Merry
y'all
Christmas,
for having
fellas.
me. Merry
Appreciate
Hey,
Christmas
brother.
to you boys.
Welcome
Love
to
you.
the club.
Yes, sir.
Listen,
Thank
I'm going to have to get off of this this label deal that I've got. and get over here. Him and Andy's gonna have seniority.
You stay where you at. Me and Andy will handle it. We'll stay.
He's spending all the money.
Yeah,
You might want to stick.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
no,
I
no.
gotta get
We'd
some
love
of that.
to bring you on, Bubba. You
It's
let us know when and
Maybe
where,
he'll
and
cut
we'll
one of
make
my songs in. Here.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yep. All right, I'm out. Thank y'all
There
for
you go.
having me. Thank y'all for
Thank
coming
y'all
out.
for being here.
Yeah.
We love y'all.
Sounds Like Life with Darryl Worley is a Blue Spire music production. Hosted by Darryl Worley and Travis McLeese. Produced and edited by Mike Murphy and Sam Hudson. Set design by Sam Hudson. Theme song Sounds Like Life to Me by Darryl Worley. Executive producers Paul Perry, Julianne Drennan, and Travis McLeese.